Umpisa na. Malaking gyera inaasahang mangyayari. Russia, Turkey, Iran, Chechen Republic, Syria at Lebanon para sa panig ng Hamas. Tatapasok na balita, iba't ibang bansa nagpahayag na ng suporta para sa Palestine Hamas. Turkey Elite Force ipapadala na para sa karagdagang lakas at suporta ng Palestinian. Russia, Vladimir Putin, handa na ding tumulong sa Hamas. Mga armas at kagamitan handa nang ipadala para sa Hamas. Israel, may konkretong ebidensya na laban sa Iran at koneksyon nito sa pag-atake ng Hamas sa Israel. At Israel nagbabadyang umatake na din sa Iran. Chechen Republic, handa na kuno maging negosyador pangkapayapaan para sa Israel at Hamas. Iba't ibang grupo at bansa nanawagan na din ng kapayapaan. Samantalang Russia, isinisi sa Amerika ang sigalot sa Israel at Hamas. Silent negotiation kuno, inakusahang paripak. Yan ang mga pangunahing balita ating ihahatid sa araw na ito. Panibagong iba't ibang bansa nagpakita na din ng suporta sa Hamas at handa umano ang mga ito na magbigay na ng tulong militar sa Palestine. Alinsulog ito sa kanilang pare-parehong aligasyon na hindi na daw makatao ang mga hakbang na isinasagawa ng bansang Israel. Mga bansang hayagang nagpakita na ng konkretong suporta sa Hamas. At nauna na dito ang Syria at Lebanon, Hezbollah.
Израиль столкнулся, конечно, с такой беспрецедентной атакой, которой в истории не было. И не только по масштабам, но и по характеру исполнения, по жестокости. Ну, что там говорить, надо вещи называть своими именами.
İsrail topraklarındaki sivillerin öldürülmesine açıkça karşı çıkıyoruz. Aynı şekilde Gazze'deki masumların hiçbir ayrım gözetilmeden sürekli bombardımana maruz bırakılarak
At the same time, the president of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, who has close relations with Vladimir Putin, also announced his support for Palestine. Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov has called for the deconfliction of this ongoing war between Israel and Palestine. Ramzan Kadyrov announced that he would send the Chechen army to the Palestinian territories to restore order and resist troublemakers if necessary.
At Turkey Elite Force o Maroon Beret Forces ipapadala na ng Turkey bilang dagdag suporta sa lakas panloob ng Hamas sa kabila ng kaalaman nito na ginagamit na din ng Israel ang elite forces nito na Rephaim. Layunin ng Turkey na bigyan ng patas na laban ng Hamas laban sa Israel. Bakbakang elite forces laban sa elite forces inaasahang mangyari. Russian President Vladimir Putin at Turkey President Recep Tayyip Erdogan naghayag na din ng kanilang panig sa Hamas. Alinsunod ito sa pahayag ng una na pagkakataon na din magiganti sa Israel sa kadahilan ng pinigilan umano nito ang agresibong paghihikayat ni Putin sa mga Palestinian na nakatira sa boundary ng Russia upang gawing sundalo na isasabak sa sigalot sa Ukraine. At sa Turkey naman, sa kadahilanan ng panghihimasok daw ng Amerika sa mga internal na sigalot ng bansa, kabilang ang pagpapabagsak ng isang drone nito sa himpapawid ng Syria na nagdulot ng mataas na tensyon sa Turkey at nasabing bansa. Panoorin natin ang isang ilustrasyon mula sa isang tagabalita sa daigdigan. Para sa ilustrasyon na ito, buong kredito ay para sa nagmamay-ari ng video na ito.
The Turkish Ministry of Defense, the Turkish Armed Forces have announced that they are ready to support Palestine. Vladimir Putin's Wagner mercenary group is joining the Hamas forces. Are Turkey and Russia in a secret alliance? Turkey and Russia are ready to take action to take revenge on the United States. In the same way, the downing of an unmanned Turkish warplane by American Air Force warplanes in Syrian airspace led to a major crisis between Turkey and the United States deck. Turkish President Erdogan preferred to remain neutral in this deconfliction between Israel and Palestine. However, shortly after the events, the Turkish Ministry of National Defense made a statement that the Turkish army was ready to send support to Palestine. The order has come for the TSK, who announced that they are ready if President Erdogan gives an order. President Erdogan has announced that supplies will be sent to Palestine in the first place. But the fact that he implied that this was just the beginning attracted attention, and Turkey has shown its side. With the learning that Vladimir Putin's Wagner mercenaries were helping Hamas soldiers, quite interesting events began to happen. According to statements made by the Ukrainian government, the Hamas army was trained by Wagner soldiers before launching attacks on Israel. Wagner soldiers who retreated from the territory of Ukraine and settled in Belarus were sent to Middle Eastern countries via Belarus. Officials of the Ukrainian National Resistance Center, who stated that they received intelligence from Russia and Belarus, announced that trainers and commanders of Wagner mercenaries were training Hamas soldiers to attack Israel. In the same way, it was announced that a group of Wagner instructors went to Africa and conducted exercises with Hamas soldiers there. Shortly after these statements by the Ukrainian authorities, the Israeli intelligence service launched a detailed investigation into the Hamas soldiers who continue to be deployed in the Gaza Strip. After the reconnaissance flights, it was noticed that a flag belonging to the Wagner army was found inside the Hamas military headquarters located in the Gaza Strip. Along with learning that Wagner soldiers are secretly supporting the Hamas administration, it has been learned that Russia is indirectly supporting Hamas. Turkey and Russia's simultaneous statements of support for Palestine led to the emergence of allegations that Turkey and Russia are in a secret alliance. The fact that America has been providing both military and material support to Ukraine for months, and the U.S. Air Force has been carrying out attacks on the military outposts of the Russian army in Syria, has caused Russian leader Vladimir Putin to choose his side in this war. As it is known, the Israeli army is currently under attack from 3 different fronts. The attacks on Israel from the territories of Gaza, Syria, and Lebanon have greatly angered Prime Minister Netanyahu. Netanyahu formed a state of emergency government as a result of negotiations with opposition officials. Shortly after, the Israeli army carried out airstrikes on Syrian territory in order to respond to the airstrikes from Syria. The Israeli army targeted the airports of Damascus and Aleppo and carried out an attack on these 2 airports. Syrian state television announced that the Damascus and Aleppo airports were out of service after these attacks. However, shortly before these attacks, one of the Russian military outposts in Syria was damaged during the airstrikes organized by Israel in order to respond to Syria. These events have enabled Turkey and Russia to take part on the side of Palestine. On the other hand, the aircraft carrier sent by the U.S. Navy to Israel came up again. War analysts have theorized that the United States has sent an aircraft carrier to the Mediterranean. While NATO countries support Israel, the vast majority of Muslim countries are on the side of Palestine. However, do you think it is the right decision for Erdogan, who is both a NATO country and the leader of a Muslim country, to choose the Palestinian side? At the same time, the president of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, who has close relations with Vladimir Putin, also announced his support for Palestine. Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov has called for the deconfliction of this ongoing war between Israel and Palestine. Ramzan Kadyrov announced that he would send the Chechen army to the Palestinian territories to restore order and resist troublemakers, if necessary, and expressed their readiness to act as peacekeeping forces. After Hezbollah secretly infiltrated Israel's borders, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant announced that they had begun to carry out military shipments to the border areas. As it is known, the Hamas army carried out airstrikes against the Israeli capital Tel Aviv, but these attacks were successfully prevented by the Iron Dome air defense systems. Defense Minister Gallant announced that more air defense systems will be deployed to the city of Tel Aviv, considering that there will be more airstrikes against the capital.
At para naman sa ulat sa loob ng Israel, gobyerno nito may hawak na daw na konkretong ebidensya laban sa bansang Iran na may malaking kinalaman daw bilang utak sa pag-atake sa Israel ng Hamas. Pondo, taktika, langis at armas, Iran daw ang siyang nagbibigay ng mga ito. Isang patunay ang naganap na sikretong pagpupulong ng leader ng Hamas at foreign minister na Iran na si Hussein Amir Abdullahian. At pinagkasunduan ng mga ito ang patuloy na kaoperasyon ng bawat panig. At pagkatapos na ng sikretong pagpupulong na naganap sa bayan ng Qatar, isang mabilisang aksyon, tulong at lakas militar ang pinagkaloob agad ng Iran na mataan agad ang pagtransporte ng mga pangunahing tangke nito para sa tulong sa Hamas. Nasa oras na ito, tinatayang nakaabot na sa bordeyo ng Iraq at patawid na ng bansang Turkey papasok ng Syria upang doon naman tatangkaing makapasok sa bordeyo ng Israel at inaasahang makakarating ito ngayong linggo na paparating. Chechen Republic leader Ramzan Kadyrov, kilalang malapit na kaalyado ni Putin, naglabas na din ng saloobin nito sa nangyayaring gulo sa Israel at ibinigay nito ang kanyang pakikiisa at suporta sa Palestine. Bagaman walang direktang mensahe ito sa pagbibigay ng armamentong suporta, nagpahayag naman ito ng kahandaan upang maging instrumento sa pagkapayapaan sa pagitan ng Israel at Hamas.
Ассаламу алейкум. Приветствуем всех. Хочу затронуть тему. Ассаламу алейкум. Приветствуем всех. Хочу затронуть тему.
At sa balitang pangdaigdigan, isang grupo ng Muslim country leader sa masamang naglabas ng kanilang panawagan tungo sa kaayusan ng Israel at Hamas para sa kapakanan ng mga sibilyan sa dalawang bansang apektado.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be speaking on behalf of the Arab group in New York. the group has met this morning to discuss the current situation in Gaza and the escalation of war in Gaza. And we have agreed as a group to work towards three key goals. The first goal is in the implementation of the resolution that was taken last Wednesday by the Ministerial Council of the Arab League, which is the first thing to end the conflict, to end war, and at least to find ways to reach a ceasefire. The second aspect is to facilitate humanitarian access into Gaza in order to avoid the calamity and the catastrophe that is happening now before our eyes. And the third aspect, in light of the recent developments regarding the issue of moving or transferring the Palestinian population in Gaza to the south, to work with the international community and the UN to stop such acts that will lead to mass displacement of the Palestinian population. We are talking about figures which are beyond 1.1, 1.2 million that are asked by the Israeli army to vacate North Gaza. This is mass transfer of population that the group in New York will be working with the United Nations and the international community to stop.
China nagbigay na din ng kanilang testamento sa usaping ito.
Yesterday, Wang Yi from the Central Foreign Affairs Office called HAMON, the special advisor to the President of Brazil. They discussed the Palestine-Israel conflict. Wang Yi said the main problem is the injustices done to Palestinians.
巴勒斯坦问题是中东问题的核心，症结在于一直没有还巴勒斯坦人民一个公道。
The recent brutal conflict shows the way forward is returning to real peace talks and respecting Palestinian rights.
在于尽快恢复真正的和谈，实现巴勒斯坦民族的正当权利。
China calls for an influential international meeting to form a more widespread consensus based on the two-state
以
solution.
两国方案为基础，达成更广泛共识，并为此制定时间表和路线图。
The UN must fulfill its role in tackling the Palestine
发
issue.
挥应有作用。中方
China supports an urgent Security Council meeting about the conflict, focusing on humanitarian concerns and demanding ceasefire and
明确要
protection
求
of
停火止暴，保护平民，形成有约束力的国际共识，为此拿出实际举措。中方
civilians.
愿同巴西及有关
China is ready to closely collaborate with Brazil and others on this issue. HAMON agrees that peace talks must resume and wants to work with China to calm the
巴
situation.
方愿同中方密切协调，共同推动局势缓和。我要强调
I must stress that China has no self-interest in the Palestine issue and stands for peace and justice.
始终站在和平一边，站在公平正义一边。连日来
Recently, Jai Jun, the Chinese special envoy to the Middle East, called officials in Egypt, Palestine, Israel, and Saudi Arabia to urge peace talks.
就当前巴以局势表明中方立场，积极劝和促谈。
China will cooperate with international society to push for a ceasefire, prevent a major humanitarian crisis, and work towards a fair and lasting resolution for Palestine.
为推动巴勒斯坦问题的全面、公正、持久解决，发挥建设性作用。
Pangyayari ngayon, ibabalita din ngayon. Kung ikaw ay bago sa aming channel at nagustuhan mo ang aming paksa, maaari bang ikaw ay mag-like at subscribe, pindutin na din ang notification bell upang updated ka sa aming susunod na video na i-upload dito sa Maskaradong Kumintarista ng Pinas TV.